Welcome to day 311 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian, and we have two special guests today, Jason Knott and Sabi Chowdhury of DeSo Messenger. And we're super excited about what they have to announce today. It's a big launch. So first we're going to cover the news and then we'll get to you guys. But how's it going, guys?
It's going amazing. Thanks for having us. And
so excited.
Also, I want to give you guys a shout out, by the way, because I remember joining this space in June, and I've like played with podcasting in the past, and I know how hard it is. Being able to go every day for 311 days is crazy. So guys, you love your respect and a lot of, how much work ethic it takes. So
we appreciate it, Savvy. Yeah, the videos have only been like 250 days. We started on like day 40 something, but thanks. I appreciate
I'm going to take this back now.
I'll call you when we're at 311 and you can come back on the
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
But so remember, these videos are sponsored by NFT Tech. They're an investor in Clout Feed. So yesterday, DeSocial World, they announced that they're enabling 6 new languages on their node, on their website. It's going to be Hindi, Russian, German, Japanese, Italian, and Korean. Currently, they're allowing the communities for these languages to validate the translations are accurate and make sure everything's right. And then they'll be moving all these translations onto the DeSocial World website. So that's coming really soon. It's great. We're going to have an influx of people from all over the world coming onto DeSo, and like Hindi has so many. How many Hindi speakers are there out there in the world?
It's like 600 million or something like that. So I think there's like that group just represents probably over 1 billion possible users on DeSo. So it's important what they're doing. I'm glad they're doing this because it's kind of bringing the whole world together around DeSo.
Yeah, for sure. And yesterday, Matryoshka, what happened with Matryoshka and Alex?
Yes, so yesterday I reported that I think it was like 10 users who were helping to moderate the Discord, the DeSo Discord, received about $1,000 in DeSo from the DeSo Foundation. And Matryoshka said that she kind of explained why she got this money and it was for moderating. But she also said that Alex mentioned to her that surprise airdrops may come to individuals that go above and beyond and organize a great event or something like that. So I think we might see some surprises happen. And we might see some of the more active users, people doing really cool things on DeSo that might not be a project or a company getting airdrops of DeSo. So that's cool. We don't know the details. We're just going by what Matryoshka said, Alex said. So there's kind of some hearsay there, but I like the idea.
I mean, if that's happening, I think Michelle Lord, Miss Katie Ann, and French Connector definitely deserve some airdrops for all the clubhouse rooms they've been holding for months on end. So I think it's a good idea. I love that.
Yeah, and then additionally, like I know we've heard so much about DeSo DAO coins, but there hasn't really been any implementation of them yet. And it's early. It's only we're like a week into it maybe. But there have been 2 DAOs that I noticed spring up over the course of the last like 24 to 48 hours. And the first one is one run by Slava called the Fun DAO. And the Fun DAO is basically about having fun on DeSo. And Slava told me that he misses like the communal feel of DeSo that we had maybe back in like August or the June, July timeframe, where we had like community events, we had just all kinds of like community things happening off of DeSo and offline. Like we had all kinds of meetups and stuff. He wants FundDAO to be used to fund some of these types of events. It's going to also buy creator coins and NFTs. To buy entrance, to buy 1 DAO coin for FundDAO, it costs 5 DeSo, so around $200, a little bit over $200. So far, they have, I believe, about like 6 members, and one of them's Matryoshka, one's Disruptpreneur, one's BitBoss, one's Peking, and I think Sandy Rose. So those are all the members. I'm considering becoming a member just because I'd like to like learn about how these DAOs are working. Additionally, Disruptpreneur created a DAO. And this is a DAO he's calling the VC DAO. And basically, it's also 5 DeSo to buy a DAO coin into the VC DAO. But basically, they're going to offer private VC opportunities. There's going to be investments. So there's going to be monthly profit targets, all kinds of stuff. Disruptpreneur podcasts will be available to those who are members of the DAO. So both these DAOs make it known that they're still working on exactly how they're going to work the framework, and they're waiting to get more members before they start voting on things. But I'm glad that we're starting to see some DAOs spring up. And I think that each of these DAOs are going to give other DAOs some ideas as well. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, DAOs are supposed to be run by their users. So I guess you need DAO coin holders before you can actually say what the DAO is really diving into. So I think that's great. We're going to get some experimentation on DeSo with the DAOs. And Salil Sethi yesterday, he noted that we've reached block 100,000 on DeSo, which is, I think it's a little celebration.
Hold on.
All right, good celebration. And before we get to DeSo Messenger, which I'm super excited about, I just want to mention a few community events that are taking place today at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Clubhouse. Is Music Mondays with Chats Today. They renamed it was DeSo Chats. They now renamed it Chats Today because I guess there's a DeSo Chats app that's now out. Michelle Lord, Miss Katie Ann, Rhubarb, DOZ, GJ Art, Mercury Extinct, Goldberry, Dr. Rob, Main 10 Darrison, Maribel, Sean Drums, and Tropics will all be on hand for that. At 1 p.m. Eastern time on Twitter Spaces, is NFTs to Space with Chase Steely. They're talking about how they're sending NFTs to space, especially DeSo NFTs. So definitely take a listen to that, and you can join in on that conversation at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Entra, joinentra.com, there's Virtual Insanity number 20, and they're going to be featuring GD Virtual Galleries and talking to him about the virtual galleries that he has created. Of course, that's Gabriel. So that's going to be exciting. They're going to have Caleb P. Fall, DOZ, and Disruptpreneur on hand. But yeah, so that's the news, and we kind of rushed through that because there's some huge news from DeSo Messenger. How's it going, Jason and Savvy?
Going well, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much, for having us.
What an exciting update! Some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah, so today you are officially announcing the launch of the public beta for DeSo Messenger, and everyone can check out the app right now at app.desomessenger.com. And you kind of have a roadmap for this week. You're going to be releasing a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and all through the week, you're going to be releasing everything, building up to the release of the mobile app. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that roadmap consists of?
Yeah, I can take that. So like you said, it's a pretty exciting day for us. We'll be launching the public beta today. So right now, our big focus until this point has been trying to get to you guys a really good messaging experience. It's basic. It's just a one-on-one messaging for now, but we have that exciting rollout plan this week. So tomorrow we're looking to launch image sharing, and then on Wednesday we'll launch emojis, and then Thursday we'll launch group chats, and then we'll launch the mobile app for iOS and Android. So it's a pretty exciting week. We have chosen to launch it in this open beta because we want to encourage people to share their thoughts, share their feedback. You can reach out to us directly. You can post in the Discord. You can post on our Diamond page. But we're really looking to just gather as much feedback as we can from people, because ultimately that's what's going to make the app really awesome. And so, yeah, we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I already set mine up, and I have desktop notifications. So every time somebody sends me a message on DeSo, I get a notification. I can go right to your app and reply.
Nice.
It's great. It reminds me a lot of Telegram, the way it works. I'm excited for group chats. I think that's going to be amazing. It's something we've been missing. And of course, the mobile apps. I think that's once people have the mobile app for this, it's going to be like you can send them a message. It's like getting a text. So I think it's amazing. And of course, emoji support. Hey, you guys could maybe even have some special emojis that you sell as NFTs, or maybe allow the community to create emojis that you can sell as NFTs.
Yep. There you go. Thinking.
Yeah. So like, I know, like for me personally, like, I don't check my DeSo messages as much as I should. I probably check them maybe once every couple of days just because it's clunky. So obviously you guys have taken this into consideration, how to make it as easy to use, as intuitive, and also provide those notifications. Like what went into, I guess, planning this from the start? Like what were some things that you had to take into consideration?
I can start with this, and Jason, you can add on to that. But so basically, we're looking at it as 3 steps for like the like how we're gonna our vision, I guess, how we're gonna grow the app or how we're gonna build features. Step number 1 was to build a really simple, good messenger app, so people don't have to use a different app, right? Like for us, we felt a little hypocrite by using a Telegram or Signal when we're building a messenger app ourselves, right? So we were like, okay, well, we want to get to a point where we can do all the normal features that you can use on any other app on our own app, right? So that was step number 1. And taking also considering the biggest challenges with DeSo, like you mentioned, like spam and all that kind of stuff, we wanted to make sure that there's an option to, like, you know, separate those conversations from the just, you know, paid shill conversations that you get on DeSo. So we're adding, like, starting off, we're adding like favorite feature to just move things from, you know, in your preferred inbox, so as to say. But moving on now, which is the step number 2, is leveraging the money graph and building features that will help creators, you know, basically engage their audiences and monetize, and also, like, you know, help them with separating with the spam messages that they get and actually connect them with right people. Jason, if you want, you can speak on that more.
Yeah, so there's some really creative things we can do. Just one simple example being, you can set up a paywall, or we'll be able to set up a paywall. So for people to get in touch with you, they may pay a price, say $10. And maybe for that $10, you guarantee that you'll read the message and respond to them. And so you have a situation where you, the creator, are able to monetize your audience. You're also able to manage spam because it's only people willing to pay you. And on the flip side is your audience, or the person reaching out to you, is happy because they get a guaranteed read or guaranteed whatever it is that they paid for. So there's some pretty creative things we can do with the money graph. And another thing, actually, I'll add to the current situation is we wanted to keep it really simple between filtering all messages and the favorites. So you can just simply favorite a message or a conversation and it moves over into the favorites tab. And you can actually control where you receive the notifications. So you can actually, in the app, turn notifications completely off. You can have them come from all messages, or you can have them come from your favorites tab. And it's like a really nice, simple way to make sure that you're not getting completely spammed with messages. I'm sure you guys are gonna like that. And then you get to keep track of what conversations are actually important for you for now. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. And we're working on a few other exciting things for the inbox. Just in general, we have some very interesting ideas for how to segment it and how to maybe focus on, maybe you can apply a filter to focus on coin holders or people that you follow, and just find ways to make that whole inbox more relevant to you.
Yeah, you know, like that's something that has been missing. I think, like, when DeSo rolled out and the messaging came out, and this is before even Messages 2.0 came out, there were already all these built-in, I guess, lines of code in the blockchain that could be taken advantage of, but they haven't been. And I mean, there's segmentation, like you said, where maybe you only want to receive messages from people that have a coin price of $10 and might own your coin, or maybe you want to only read read messages from people who are willing to pay. So I think we're finally seeing what the messaging system was kind of set up to become, but nobody had taken advantage of that. And I think you guys finally are. And with Messages 2.0, which they rolled out, like 2 weeks ago, I think we're going to have even more tools that you guys can kind of take advantage of.
Well, even like if you would set it so only people who follow you can message you, or only people you follow could message you. And it's kind of a way to incentivize people to follow you or to buy your coin.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of incentives. Well, I think it's gonna be great for the Instagram crowd. People on Instagram can come over here, and maybe they don't want to use DeSo, but they want to use DeSo Messenger because they can get paid. You know, like they can post a link on Instagram or Twitter. Hey, if you want to message me, you can do so on DeSo. It's going to cost you $5 for me to read your message, $20 for me to reply to your message. You know, and that's a great way for some of these Instagram stars who really make a lot of money. Yep. I know there's a lot of influencers that are always complaining, you know, I have all these followers, but I can't really monetize it, especially on TikTok. You see that. So I think this this has so much potential for influencers, but also has potential for just people who have a lot of followers who, get a lot of messages. And I want to say I use Telegram. I've been using Telegram to communicate with everybody on DeSo. Sometimes I use Discord, mostly Telegram, but it's a pain because sometimes people don't have the same username on Telegram as they do on DeSo. So you got to figure out what their Telegram username is to message them. Now with DeSo Messenger, you can just go to DeSo Messenger, type in their DeSo username, and voila, you can send a message and get notifications. So I think this is such a huge solution to so many problems on DeSo. And I think I love the ideas you have for the future of it. And you said mobile apps coming to both Android and iOS, right, on Friday?
Yeah, that's correct. On Friday, yeah.
I also want to mention one thing that was pretty funny to me. Something you mentioned, back in like June or July, when you were looking at these things on the chain, right? There were options to be able to do that. I remember seeing like a lot of people like Craig. I remember his thing was like, hey, top 10 of my creators get a private chat. And I remember thinking about it. How are you picking up the top 10 creators? Are you manually going and taking your top 10 creators and then sending them a Zoom link? And then what happens when that number 10 becomes number 11?
Right.
You're removing him, right? And so again, with our stuff, luckily with group chats now, we can automate that. Automatically, you can select 10 creators, for example, and they get put into a separate group chat, and that's your top 10 holders. And you can do things for them. Because again, one thing that we have realized, and I'm sure like you've probably seen this as well, the biggest challenge that we've seen with DeSo is a lot of people have come to the ecosystem, but there haven't been enough tools for them to do stuff, right? And so this kind of goes back to the point where you have a coin price that's amazing, but how do you give value to your fans or your creator or your audience? So that's kind of how we're thinking about it. What kind of tools can we make for helping creators monetize and in return giving value to the users or their fans?
Yeah, that's like a good point. Like I always say, like, it's too bad that we didn't have that surge we saw back in like April and May, like now, because if we did, the user retention would be so much higher because we have all these apps that are being built. And if you fast forward another 6 months, I'm sure it's going to be probably 5 times as crazy and 5 times there's going to be 5 times as much utility on DeSo. So yeah, that's a really good point. And I'm glad that you're finally like taking advantage of some of the things that were on the blockchain and made available to developers, but nobody actually took the steps to run with them.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what's the group chat experience going to be like? Is it going to be essentially the same as Telegram, or do you have any other features in there?
Yeah, so for now, it's what you should expect on Thursday is something pretty similar to Telegram. Yeah, it's going to be quite simple. We throw a group together, you can have a conversation with a group of people. As with everything, we have loads of crazy ideas of what we want to do with it. I think there's a lot of potential to it. And I guess one interesting perspective that we have that is like really like a core piece, a core driver to like all the decisions we're making is we think that the power here is to put the focus on communities and community building and community engagement. That means serving the creators or the influencers of the community, and then also serving the audiences. And so you can imagine a group chat, a world where you can throw together very easily themed group chats, themed communities. So very much like how, something that Discord does really well is, you can go on there, you can create a community, it has a topic, you can completely like own the whole conversation and you create a place that people belong. We want to capture that, but we also love how Telegram is awesome at direct messaging, and it's a really nice, clean user interface. It's very simple. It works really well on desktop and it works really well on mobile. And so we want to kind of capture those two things without, there's going to be this sort of balance between a place where you can be fully immersed and engaged into that community that you're in. Say it's a community all around an NFT. Maybe there's a Bored Ape Club community, and you're fully engaged in it. There are tools inside of that. There's loads of utility relating to that NFT. Maybe it's specific to that NFT, and you can completely be hyper focused in there. But then you can also take a step back, and you can go back to your DM list, and you can respond to people, and you can have those conversations. So we are really excited about that. I think it's a big problem that hasn't quite been solved yet, and especially for the Web3 community. And so that's something that we want to go after. And yeah, so for group chats, we also see that there's going to come a point where a group chat is not enough. You know, it's just a truism with like human communities, which is that there comes a point where you can't just have a group chat. Like it has to spill over and maybe become a channel or something more, something that is more suited to this like larger amount of people. And so, yeah, we fully expect that we'll add something like channels, something maybe a bit more like Slack, where you are able to have themed conversations, you know, and it can happen in any time zone. And then an employee or someone can wake up the following day, get caught up on the latest news, get re-engaged into everything that happened yesterday, and pick up where it left off. So I think there's a lot of possibilities with this whole group chats, communities mechanic, and some really exciting things.
Yeah, and I also want to add one more point here. Like, you know, we're talking about all these features. Like I talked about gig economy a little bit before, but setting your price. We talked about the, you know, like the Craig feature, like the automating group chats, and like kind of Jason talked about these channels. Like these are hundreds of ideas that are in our head, and we're so excited about it because every day we get a new idea. But our goal here is to, you know, kind of like throw all these ideas out and let data do the talking and see what community really wants and build whatever people want, right? So again, the reason I used that Craig example was because we were looking at what people were doing. We're looking at the behavior, right? And so that's kind of how we're thinking about this. And also, Jason mentioned this before, we want to kind of really set this dialogue that this is like going to be we want to take feedback from users and build based on what people really want. And ideally, somehow, we're going to think about this more. The reason we haven't launched our coin, we don't know what's the best way we want to approach this yet, like whether a DAO or a coin or token model. But ideally, we want people to be, you know, again, talking about a group chat, it'd be really good if our coin holders are, you know, like basically help us like come out, like help vote on features that we want to be built, kind of thing, right? So again, it's like we want to give power back to the community and incentivize them and also reward them in the process while building this app.
Yeah, I know what it's like to just have so many ideas and you just can't get, it's going to take like years to get every idea out there, right? Like we do the same thing with NFTZ. We have like a list in a spreadsheet and there's actually 150 different ideas in the list. It's like our coder, Martijn and Van Halen, keeps saying, okay, we can only do one thing at a time, guys. We can only do one thing at a time. But it's like, you just have these ideas, but just write them down and you save them for later and then reach out to the community and see what they want, you know?
Yeah. And things change so fast that like an idea today might be a bad idea in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also so interesting because I think a couple of days ago, I was watching one of your guys' video with the founder of Story. And in there, she was talking about, you know, making NFTs a story. And we were like, I reached out to Jason and I'm like, man, it'd be so cool if we can just like, you know, get those NFTs in the messenger, like where somebody can send that NFT inside a messenger and we can do so much with it. And Jason was like, yeah, let's take it easy. Let's write it down. We'll come back to it. So it's just like one of those things where every day
so many ideas out there.
That is such a good idea though. Like, hey, I'm going to send you an NFT through the messenger and it's going to go right into your DeSo account. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing that we're thinking along the lines of, and obviously it's early days, but we kind of visualize DeSo Messenger as not just a product, but more of a platform. So one way we can do all of these awesome ideas is to find ways to have partnerships with teams and products, and find ways for other products to integrate into us, and let them do the work in a way that, you know, they get value out of doing it, whether it's users or money or whatever it is. But yeah, basically open up DeSo Messenger to let other developers build on top of it. And, you know, that all plays into the big DeSo vision, which is just making it easier for developers to build apps. And so we're very much aligned with that. And I think that's one way we can get some of this more, make it awesome.
Yeah, I guess when I was talking about the 3 steps, that was a step number 3 that I never mentioned. Our step number 3 is basically to open up the API for other projects to use our messenger and, like, you know, for their own, and they don't have to go and write the whole code themselves. I had a chat with the founder of Pulse. You know, they want to launch an ability to for holders of a particular coin to be able to chat amongst themselves, right? And again, it's not worth it to spend all this time on this feature to go and build the whole messenger for, like, you know, and build an app and build the dev version. So it's very easy for them to, like, you know, use our code and do that. And same with any other platforms that are building, we would love to kind of do that. I had a chat a little bit with Moonbounce as well about this. And so as more and more people more and more projects get built on the ecosystem, we'll love to kind of partner with them and be the messaging layer for them.
But well, yeah, like I think like even with NFTZ, you could have it integrated into NFTZ, and you could have a make an offer button on an NFT, and it just sends them a message right through your messenger. Like just simple stuff like that could really go a long way.
Yeah, and then after
I
that,
have some
also
really cool ideas of how we could do stuff with NFTZ. What?
Yeah, and then
after this.
And then after, you guys can obviously we're gonna have more stuff where you can think of it as like what kind of I don't know how much you know about the messenger marketing and ManyChat from the Web2 world. Have you guys?
Not really. No, I don't know too much.
Okay. Yeah, but the reason it kind of failed was it was a great idea because people are on their socials all the time, and it was so much better than email marketing. But the reason it was just hard was because of the whole Facebook's trying to make money off it, the regulations and all that kind of stuff. But again, the idea here is once you have, like you mentioned, when somebody makes an offer and you have direct access to your customer or user, there's no reason why you should not be able to engage with them. Right. And so similarly, now you can do so much there. Once let's say somebody made an offer, you send them a message. And if they subscribe, now you can send them, different offers. Or as an artist as well, you can do so much. You can just kind of go direct to their inbox. And there's no friction. So same as what community.com does. But the problem is there's so much friction because you have to take them somewhere else. But now it's all there, one click buy, and just everything is in the ecosystem there.
Yeah, everything's on one database. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's so much potential. What was that?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say there's a real beauty in that portability, and it's actually something that gets us really excited because I think it really lends itself well to innovation because it's no longer a thing where it's like us versus them. Like everyone has access to the same data, and it's purely just focused on how can you turn that data into something that's valuable for people, and if people like it, they'll use it, and therefore there's more innovation kind of sprouts out of that. So that's kind of our perspective on it, and it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So if anybody has any feedback to give, they go to app.desomessenger.com and check out the app, and they see, tomorrow you're going to be launching image sharing, Wednesday's emoji support, Thursday's group chats, and then on Friday you get the mobile apps. They have feedback to give you or suggestions. What's the best way for them to contact you guys?
Yes, so the best way is actually the official DeSo Messenger account. I believe every person who signs up with the app should have a conversation with the DeSo Messenger account. You can just post into there. We'll communicate with you that way. Also we've got our Diamond page as well. You'll be able to communicate with us on there. Just feel free to reach out to us in any way for now. The idea is when we launch group chats, we're actually thinking of throwing together a big group chat where everybody can be inside of it. It's going to probably really test the limits of group chats, so that's going to also be fun. But yeah, that'll be a really good place for us all to jam and to really riff up different ideas.
I'm glad your answer wasn't message me on Telegram.
No.
AOL Instant Messenger. Good old AIM.
Yeah, and also
thanks so much, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, and also wanted to say one more thing is we're going to be launching, not this week, but the next week, we're going to be launching a video on each team member. So we're growing a team. We're like 5 people now and some rock stars. So we're going to be launching the team, intro video on everybody who's going to go on camera and talk about themselves, their past. So you will know the entire team, and if you want to connect even with any individual person who you are more, let's say a coder versus a business guy, right? So you can kind of reach out to them directly as well, and any feedback is always appreciated.
It's actually pretty funny because that's one thing that we noticed is there's been a bit of an enigma in Diamond where people don't really know who we are, and some people questioning are we the core team. We thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, we're going to show everybody who we actually are.
Well, I agree. I didn't know who you guys were. I'm like, who's DeSo Messenger? I thought it was his core team. I thought the core team was creating. I'm like, okay, there's Jason, Knott, and Savvy, and you guys don't really post that much, so it's like who are these guys? But I suspect we're going to be hearing a lot more from you guys now that DeSo Messenger is out. I look forward to talking to you again. I'm sure we'll have you on the show again when you release new features. So thanks again. Thanks for launching on our show. It's been an honor.
No, thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to everybody tomorrow. Have a good day and check out DeSo Messenger.